Please welcome to Triple M Breakfast, John Stevens and Kate Ceberano.
Kate Ceberano we have here, IRL. And John, you're sunning yourself in Hawaii and we're all very jealous.
Oh, God, I'm so jealous.
I am. I'm having a bit of a break, although I've been recording over here as well, and just sort of been working on a new album and new songs. And what better place to do it than in the sun? And it's working a treat for me. I'm sorry, guys. Sorry.
Well, John, we are extremely jealous of you. But Kate, just before we started, described your voice as... Kate, can you repeat what you described John's voice as?
So he answers the phone, and I said, your voice sounds like sand with rainbows in it. Well, actually...
I didn't know it was Kate at the time.
No.
What a nice lady.
No, quite simply, I mean, your voice is so distinctive, darling, that even in your speaking voice, it carries a lot of stuff, a lot of humour, but a lot of love, a lot of hard work. I mean, he's
Thanks, Sam.
yeah. I mean,
Look at you two go. A lot of admiration and just
no,
mutual love
you don't
between you.
understand. We are the husband and wife team, but we only met once on a stage and we haven't seen each other since.
And do we get this delightful...
Perfect marriage.
Do we get this delightful frisson on stage during Superstars Live, or are you literally just singing songs?
I don't think there'll be enough time, will
or...
there, John? I mean, if you put together all the hits like back to back, there's not a lot of room for crapping on between. It's like
Listen, we'll be
90
crapping
minutes.
on between, don't worry. Because we can't help ourselves.
That's true. Actually, can
That's
I just
true.
state that one of the most exciting things about this particular tour, and given our age and again our relationship as friends, there was a tour in the 70s called Mad Dogs and Englishmen.
Okay.
And the thing I loved about it most, it was like stacks on stage. So everyone's bringing all of the band, all of the singers. There's not that sort of distinction amongst all of the crew on stage.
Yep.
I'll be staying on stage for John at the keys, BVs, and John will be standing on stage just to be handsome.
Through the whole...
And now for a handsome solo.
Exactly.
We
Take it away, John.
We appreciate everything you've done in the music community, and you're handsome and stand there. Thank you. Aesthetics only today. Thanks, John.
Exactly.
Oh, my God.
Sorry,
Oh.
John.
Well, good luck with that, John. But it's been how long? 30 years. I don't believe it since you were both in Jesus
32.
Christ. 32? I don't believe that
Yes,
at all.
1992, we did the first arena version of a theatrical production anywhere in the world, and it was Jesus Christ Superstar, and it was probably one of the most important and shows for both Kate and I, and for John Farnham, and for everybody really, because it was it broke so many. It was really groundbreaking at the time, and it was the first time sort of rock singers and whatnot had been or put into this kind of thing. Every single main was person was had a background in rock music,
So we had John Farnham was Jesus. Kate, you were Mary Magdalene. John, you were Judas. Angry
Yes.
Anderson was Herod. Makes sense. John Waters, who I loved on
adored John
Play
Waters.
School.
Oh, no, but actually, I don't know if you know, John Waters is the most amazing musician.
I know, I do know.
Oh,
I was
mate,
being a
he's
little bit silly.
No, he's
Pontius
okay.
Pilate
It's all good.
and Russell Morris, incredible performer, was
Russell Morris,
Simon Zealots.
Yes.
Zealots.
He and
Yeah.
I had a duet, as I recall, and we'd have to come around this stage, which is a revolving stage, and he was not as comfortable as I was on moving on it. And sometimes he'd miss his cue to jump on the stage. And we had to sort of time it perfectly so that, we kind of we step in and on and serenely sort of glance at each other and start our duet. And occasionally I'd just have to sort of hold myself steady, just wait for the jump on, come on, Russell. He's amazing. Can I just add to what John was saying? I think we're in a time, well, particularly this year, where you're going to get to see a lot of Jesus Christ Superstar. And this is what Australian audiences, if there's one question public always ask me when they come up to me in any public space, is I remember, first of all, it's a statement. I remember where I was, how old I was, and how it affected me. That was the massive statement. When will we see you guys do this again?
Yeah.
And from my understanding, Superstar, and you can actually confirm this, John, the reason why we hadn't seen it in Australia is because I don't think Andrew Lloyd Webber or Tim Rice enjoy making money for each other anymore.
Oh, okay.
So it was kind of like, let's not do this for a while. because we don't need the money. Let's just rest the brand. Can't stand you. Don't want to see you. Don't want to be a part of this.
Yeah, right.
And now we're actually celebrating, though, 50 years of that incredible union of lyrics and music. And they must be at peace because we're going to get a lot of it here in Australia this year.
Did you have any idea at the time what sort of impact this was going to have? As you say, people stopping you and reflecting on where they were and how they were?
Well, I'll speak for myself. When you had artists like Marsha Hines bringing it to Australia in the first instance, and then before that, I saw this amazing movie where they had the singer of Deep Purple, Ian Gillan, who was that's correct, and Carl Anderson and this Hawaiian artist Yvonne Elliman. So this is the Mad Dogs and Englishmen. She was actually in with that Joe Cocker. So these are people, these are my idols.
Yeah, heroes.
So that's like over 50 years. Yeah, I've had it in every decade, actually.
And you got to do what you saw as a young person.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And now Mahalia Barnes is getting that experience. She's being Mary Magdalene.
Going
Great
to
singer.
absolutely tear it a new one because she called me and said, this is also really sweet. I think this is the way it works. And she said, I just want your blessing. And how do you feel about this? I'm like, mate, does a cat have a bum? You are perfect.
It's a bit early for that, isn't it?
No, never too early for cat bum
That's
talk.
it's one of the big songs from Jesus Christ Superstar, isn't it? Does a cat have a bum?
Does a cat have a bum? Sorry, guys, I'm taking over. Go for it, John.
Mahalia's going to be so good. She's such a great singer and a great girl. So, I'm looking forward to actually seeing her.
Well, you've
perform in
both performed alongside her effectively, and I see that you're going to be in the Maldives, Kate, playing with her dad, Jimmy, and Ian Moss, and Mahalia will be there as well. So you can have a lot of merry chat before she gets on stage.
How do you get these gigs? How does this come about and what happens when you're on them? Is this like an
As in the
exclusive
Maldives?
island? Yeah.
I know, it actually seems a bit like I didn't want you to mention it because Australian audiences are going to go, bugger that, I'm not going to go see those guys. Those guys are on holiday 24/7. Yes, as I speak to you in Hawaii, John Stevens.
John's in Hawaii. You're going to the Maldives, but also you can catch them both at the Geelong Performing Arts Centre.
Yes, exactly. Keep it real.
Right,
Keeping
keep
it
it
real.
real. Exactly.
I'll answer that question though about the Maldives because it's a pretty special gig and it does happen once a year. There's a community who organise for these really private events, meaning there's only about 100 people that get to go, and then they get to sort of sit in, and we're just there, kind of hanging out, and we all kind of perform together again. And John, you've done the Maldives before, haven't you?
No, I haven't done it actually. I've been
well,
asked,
sucked
but
in.
I've been too busy and I can't wait to do our one. So
I know. It's all we're really gagging for.
I'm very excited to be doing the Superstars Live and you and I being on stage again and the band and the whole thing. It's going to be amazing, and to sing all those songs again because I haven't sung them for so many years, the Judas stuff, and it's so intense. The great thing is, everyone just has a fantastic time, and all the bands and all the artists interact, and with the audience, everyone's, we run into everyone's got to hang over after day one. So everyone's, we're all on the same playing field.
John, can I just tell you the song I love coming to see and sing along to? It's that reach out and touch someone. That's where seems to me that's the apex of every gig I see of yours. And
Right.
and that's where you get to be spat on most by the crowd because they just sing and spit on you at a
Thanks,
distance.
Kate.
It's great therapy for us as audience members too to take part in that communal singing. I've always loved it and I feel like it helps my mental health when I go to gigs.
Oof, damn straight.
I also saw some
Absolutely.
photos of, I think, your daughter playing at the basement of the ESPY
Oh,
recently.
No, this is all roads
Really?
lead back to the ESPY or to Geelong Performing Arts Centre.
But how wonderful to see your daughter performing.
I actually, Kate Langbrook was in the audience, and I'm not sure if you know, but Gypsy's been going out with Lewis for over a year now, so it's kind of like we're family.
Kate's your sister.
Pretty much.
What a duo, Will.
She's,
the two Kates
no,
together in the one
it's
studio
like
would be
a
great.
set of earrings nobody knew they needed until they got them. And then, but she shot some footage, and I was literally like, I was nervous and impressed, and I was overwhelmed. All these things, right? And she shot this footage, and I couldn't for the life of me close my mouth for the entire show. It's just like, "Okay, shut your mouth, would you shut your mouth?" She thought that was really cute. But John and I actually both we've got music in all of our family, and I think it must have been the same time I saw your son.
Yeah.
Yeah, on tour with you. So it's kind of becoming quite a thing, isn't it? A lot of kids.
Yeah, it's great that they, have been drawn to it. It's one of those things, like with my son in particular, it's not something I encourage him to do. I think you got to find it and find out where you sit in the thing, because as a young person, you don't know really what you want to do. So you try all sorts of different things. And, music is such a positive, sort of beautiful sort of expression that when your kids find it as well and then want to, stand on a stage and deliver it, it's scary, but it's really exciting at the same time. We're very proud.
Yeah.
We see it a lot in footy, Daisy, so it's nice to see it in the music world as well.
It certainly is. We've just seen it in the NBA with LeBron James and his kid.
Oh, yes. We saw it recently with Nicole and Naomi in Paris.
Yes.
I mean, look out, world. Nepotism's up onto number top 10.
One of my favourite questions to ask all musicians is, who had the biggest impact throughout your career? So whether it be from an early age or throughout it at any stage.
I always go back to, and I'm sure John was kind of in the same sort of scene, the Wilson Pickett, the Stevie Wonder and Aretha Franklin, because we were looking at artists who were shaped by the times and their triumph over the very spectacular kind of obstacles they'd had was that they sang and they took you to another place because essentially they were taking themselves to another place.
No auto-tune in those days.
No auto-tune, just and pure.
The real deal.
Yeah, real volume. I mean, we plan. I've just started organising little merch bags to throw out into the audience with earplugs, and because John and I don't know artists apart from Mahalia and Jimmy actually that sing as loud as we do. I mean, just audibly, acoustically, it's a thing. It's a part of our generation, and we reach for it. And we get there, and in doing that, it takes everyone with us.
Yeah.
It's pretty, it's a real sort of like a sonic thing. So I think we were made from those times.
I remember doing a recording session with myself, Michael Hutchins, and Vicar Bull on the last Noiseworks album, and we did a version of Take You Higher, which is an old Sly and the Family Stone song.
Oh.
And whilst I'd sung with Michael before, we'd never sung at full force. And we're in the studio, and I swear to God, he had one of the loudest voices I've ever heard in my life to this day.
Yeah.
He was. When you think of Michael, you think of the low, croony sort of thing, But at full voice, and Take You Higher, the song, he had to be at full throttle, and it was wow. I'd never forget that. Never forget that.
Yeah, I think that with John Farnham was like that when we were with the Trinity.
Absolutely.
And we didn't really need mics in the Rod Laver.
No.
I'm just saying.
Project.
We just shouted at each other from across the way.
Oh, I love it. We can see that Friday the 25th of October at the Geelong Performing Arts Centre or Thursday 31st of October at the Palais Theatre in St Kilda. Thank you very much, John Stevens and Kate Ceberano.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.